Alrighty. I'm having a night, guys. Welcome in. How's it going? Change of plans. Stream's taking this so-called testing, but yeah, I contemplated whether or not to go live after fixing some stuff or figuring I was missing some pieces or thought I was, and I'll go into that. I I do understand that at this time of night when I'm starting, which is why 2 o'clock is like the point of no return. Honestly, it's the latest I would go. We will not be on for very long. Um, well, latest I would go to start a stream for a midnight stream. 1 o'clock is probably the actual point of no return, but things didn't work out the way I wanted tonight. And then at the last second, they kind of did, but I'll get into that in a minute. Like moments before I press start streaming. So yeah, I do know not a lot of people are going to see this live, but hopefully uh, the VOD will be up and we'll be able to inform people what the hell happened. But yeah, and how a solution was found moments before I started. Oh, God, I'll get into that. I don't want to raise my voice, though, because my dad's asleep. Let's just say a solution was found, but it was found too late. And when I explain what that means, you'll know what I mean. Oh my God, I had everything set up, had everything, had a table, which was way too long. I need to get a foldable table that's smaller than the one I have. That was already an issue. So gotta make it's like a 6 foot table. I need to get it smaller, 4 foot, maybe less, and maybe half the width as well, because it has to be foldable because I cannot store another desk down here. So yeah, lighting, fine. Had plenty of lighting when I was testing it out. Um, Sorry, train of thought. It is 2 a.m. Usually we would be streaming for this, and I'd have like a second wind essentially. But right now I'm going live very tired, which is why we're not going to be on for very long. It's also why I have this track on repeat because I actually like this track. When I started playing, I'm like, oh, this is peaceful. I don't mind this being on a loop. So this is most likely going to be the same. It's going to loop essentially. Actually, it was a pretty seamless loop. Not gonna lie. Just has a fade and comes back in. Also, I do apologize. I may. Sorry, let me get my thoughts in order. So essentially, what happened, what we were supposed to do tonight was doing a test build stream. We were going to get everything set up. Everything was going well. There were some issues. Space was an issue. The table was bigger than I expected, which took a little bit to, make that work, and it worked. Lighting, fine. I only needed two crosshair lighting situation, two lamps. I had my room overhead, my regular lights, which is the same, which is white light. I made sure when I bought those that they wouldn't be like that yellow light. They'd be like more of a white light, because that goes well for lighting if I ever need to be on camera. And it was a perfect above shot light or over the head light. Sorry, some of the terms I'm saying may not make any sense because it's not the right term, but bear with me here. Um, so yeah, plenty of lighting. Hell, I had lighting to spare. The overhead lights and two simultaneous lights on either side, and they actually had like desk lamps. So they were desk lamp lights, which was perfect because that means they were out of the way for the most part, except for the cables. But I'll get into that later. So the lighting was fine. After I got the camera working, the camera worked. We weren't going to do a face cam today because getting the freaking regular camera, the hand cam, was kind of a pain in the butt because I had to go find the download thing. Also, before we even got to that point, I also had to rearrange my desk so I can um, see everything. OBS had to be on the closest monitor to me. I had to make sure all the apps were visible to me so I could see. That took a little time, but now I know I can do it. So when we set this up for the next time we do this, it'll be a lot faster. Um, and also using my TV as like, was going to be my stream manager, was going to be my TV because I was going to be sitting far away from a monitor. So that actually was size-wise was perfect. That would have worked very well. So yeah, a lot of things went right. The thing that went wrong was the camera setup. And the thing that was taking forever is because the I have an apparatus that's good for holding a camera for the way I needed it for the hand cam. The problem was I had no way to attach it to the desk because it was too big for the mic clamps I have, or so I thought. Uh, and after trying to fiddle with it, kind of got it to work, but it was very scuffed. And I did not like the look of it, and did not want to start stream with that because the table would have been jostled a lot, moving stuff on and off of it, and the way it was positioned, I did not like. I wanted to be the camera facing me but pointed down, so that way it'd be easier for me to orient or, or orient the build stuff on it. Um, otherwise I had to have it on the side because there was a balancing issue because it was not clamped to the desk. And like I said, because the apparatus I'm using, the peg was too big for the mic clamps, the mic stand clamps. I had two of those, and one of them was being used, and the other one was going to be used for the camera apparatus or the camera stand mount, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I was trying to figure out an alternate way, but nothing was working. The stand couldn't handle the non clamp, the non desk clamp stand couldn't handle the weight the way I wanted to set it up, and it kept toppling over. I kept on trying this multiple different ways, and ultimately sideways had to be the way it worked, but that was a pain in the butt to get it oriented the way I wanted, especially showing off boxes and the builds to you guys. It would not have worked, and it would have been, at least for me, it'd been way too scuffed. I mean, I don't mind scuff. It's how you learn, but I knew I had the thing I needed somewhere, and I did not know where it is because this mount I have did come with a clamp, a desk clamp, but I have no idea where that is. It was a miracle I found the actual camera stand. But yeah, back to what I was talking about, where I was like, I didn't find a solution until the very end or last second, but it was too late at that point to even start a build stream like that. So but I figured it out, or I found it out just by happenstance, or the solution came to me by happenstance. I had already put, I already tore down the build setup or the build stream setup, and I was actually switching out one of the mic clamps for the other one so I can get my quad because my Wave 3 is not set up yet to where it sounds good. Oh, I thought I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, the Wave 3 was not set up to where it sounds good yet because I had to change a lot of settings, so I had to change filters back and do some more test with it. So I put my quadcast back on the mic stand, which every so often I'm hearing a bit of a static pop uh, from audio. Don't know why. I didn't damage the damn thing when I was changing it over, but so that's a thing. So yeah, yeah, hopefully you guys can't hear it, and hopefully it's just something that is going on with the aux port on the mic, and it's not something that you guys will be able to hear through the audio. I hope. I will find out though. I am recording this, and I'll go back to the VOD. And as long as you guys can't hear it, it'll be fine. I'm not gonna like it, but we'll see. Like I said, this mic's gonna be for the portable. It's gonna become the portable mic here soon, and I have a wireless headset which I'll be using that has its own mic monitoring. That's perfect for build streams, so I wouldn't even have to worry about that static issue if that is actually an issue. I am saddened that it is something that may have happened in the process of what's the word, of putting my quadcast on a mic stand instead of on its mount. I thought I was being careful with it. Honestly, I think I just changed my audio sources so many times that there's just this static pop that happens every so often. But I'm sure once I restart my computer, hopefully that will fix it. Hopefully. Hopefully that will fix it. I'm not gonna hold my breath though. This is a very calming piece. This music. So sorry if it's annoying on loop. I like it. It's actually very calming right now. I'm not gonna lie, it is a very calming piece of music that is actually very much helping. Oh man, me de-stress. That's the word. Because it was a bit stressful. So yeah, learned a lot. Oh yeah, back to that solution. The clamp, I was actually switching out because it was the clamp that came with the quadcast I didn't like, so I wanted to use my Elgato one, and it actually worked. Well, it's not an official Elgato stand, but it's the mic stand I've had, or the mic clamp I've had since I started streaming, and it's worked very well and is very reliable. The other one, a little more looser. The little rubber padding on it kept on peeling off, even though nothing was pushing on it that much. So I was like, you know what, we're just going to switch to the other one, and it works best. And in the process of switching it over, this little itty bitty device, this little thing in there, that was in the mount hole where the peg would go for the stand or the mic stand or the camera stand, it popped out. This little itty bitty thing popped out of it, which made the hole bigger. And I was like, and I was praying that it would not fit. I was praying that the camera mount would not fit now. Because if that is the case, the fact that I figured this out, or that this just happened by happenstance, after I had torn down the build stream, I was not going to be happy. Or it was going to be at least bittersweet. And you know what? It was bittersweet because it fucking fit. Pardon my language. It freaking fit. So yeah, now we got to. It's a little jank, but fortunately I was able to tighten it down because there's a little clamp that goes to the mounting clamp. So yeah, uh, I don't have to order a new desk mount, or I was gonna actually order the whole apparatus again because I didn't know where I could find a desk clamp that would fit it without a lot of research, and maybe not even research that would work. More research, I'd have to sift through misinformation, but but the solution has been found, and it was right before I went live for this just chatting. So yay! I don't have to pay. I don't have to purchase a whole apparatus again for a whole camera mount and everything for $30 just to get my hands on the desk clamp. So yay! I'm happy about that, but saddens that that solution didn't present itself an hour ago. To be fair, in order for me to figure that out, the freaking initial setup had to fail for me to figure that out because I would never have swapped out the clamp and I would never have like dropped the other thing, and then this would never have popped out and made the hole bigger, and then that would never I would never realize it fit. So things happen for a reason. I will definitely be saving this though because I have no idea if that's important or not, but at this point it doesn't matter. The desk clamp works and it fits and is sturdy, and now we actually have a hand cam setup for stream that will actually work. So yeah, don't know when I'm gonna do it. I do want to get my hands on a cheap, smaller desk. I mean cheap. Like I don't need anything fancy. This look like a lawn fold out table, essentially, because that's what I was using, but it was like way too big. Well, I was borrowing it, but it was way too big for what I needed for. Also, it's way too wide too. Fortunately, a lot of tables I find on Amazon are half the size of it in terms of width, so that will be an easy thing to find. The problem is finding something that is wide enough or lengthwise. That's not too long. Like I've seen a bunch of like 2 footers or 3 footers. I'm trying to find a 4 footer. So hopefully I'll have that set up. Also, it needs to be foldable. So I gotta figure that one out. Hopefully I can find one for under 50 bucks. Which so far I've seen some that are on sale that are under that. They're just not set up to the quality I'm looking for. I don't know. I'm just trying to find something that's wide enough to accommodate all the lighting that will be necessary. So yeah, just trying to find the table that will accommodate that. Oh, if worse comes to worse, the table I have is more than sufficient. The problem is it's not my table. I'm borrowing it from my dad. And it's just way too big. It's just way too big. I was tripping over myself trying to get to like the power strip for the lighting. But yeah, I do need to relearn how to get a camera to focus though. Like there's a lot of like noise, if that makes sense. There's a lot of, what's the word? When I was setting it up for the lighting and stuff, like yeah, there was a lot of like that noise, not white noise, but just noise circling around. It wasn't a smooth picture. I have to relearn how to do a camera work again. Fortunately, for the hand cam side of things, that's easy. That doesn't matter if it is like that. It's actually looks a lot better when it's just like a very a one singular color background and a lot of things in the background moving around. So it worked for a hand cam. And if I do have my Logitech camera, which will be more than sufficient for the it'll be a little jarring because I think my hand cam is like 60 frames per second and my face cam, if I ever use that one, is only 30 frames, but it should still work. I just gotta remember the trick to get it to work. Because there was like this weird thing for a long time. I was not utilizing my original camera to its fullest. It was actually going at 20 to 25 frames per second. I was like, how this cannot be 30 frames. I've seen things look way smoother. And it's this exact camera that everybody says about. It's like the C9 whatever. I can't remember what its actual name is. And I was like, how does this work? And I found the solution. It was literally in the white balance exposure or in the exposure. It had to be above a certain exposure limit for it to work. And I'll probably demonstrate it later, but well, not today. But not in the mood to be on camera. But but yeah, I will demonstrate at some point in the future. But it's literally I think it needed to be like the exposure was like -5 or something. And it needed to be less than that or more than that. I can't remember what it was. And I just changed that one little thing and reset it, and then it went to its full 30 frames, and it looked so much better and cleaner, and the picture was so much better than it than it was before. I'm like, for months I was like, why can I not figure this out? And then eventually, I don't remember. I really wish I remembered what the channel it was that I found it randomly. I was talking about white balance or exposure. I think it's exposure at the exposure setting. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh God, thank God for this video because Jesus, I could not, it was driving up a wall. I was like, I could not figure out why the frame rate was so low on my original camera. And it was literally because the exposure. I had to set it to a certain amount. I can't remember if it was above a negative or if it was a negative or a positive number. And once I did, it actually worked after resetting it. I had to do it manually every time because it did not save its settings, no matter what I did. But it worked, and for a long time, I used that camera for on screen. And then I was splurged and got myself an Elgato face cam months before I decided to become a VTuber. But hey, it's gonna be so I didn't use it for very long, is what I'm saying. But hey, it's gonna pay for itself now. It's gonna be used as the hand cam for the build streams. That'll be nice. So yeah, I'm just happy. All I gotta worry about now is getting a table for the streams and not have to get a whole $30 apparatus. just to get a desk clamp, so that's nice. It was just so funny. I couldn't help but laugh when the thing fell out. I was like, "There's no way this is gonna fit." I was like, "Please don't fit," and it fit. The damn thing fit. I don't even know. I don't even know what this little piece is. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. I may take a picture of it and put it on Discord at some point, but I don't know how I would do that with without confusing people though, because no one would have context unless they watch the VOD of this. But yeah, so learned a lot, and I did post in Discord that shit was happening, but there's a lot of moving parts. I did learn a lot. There was a lot of things in motion. I made a big mess of like freaking lighting and camera mount parts, which I have stuffed in the back next to my storage stuff. But yeah, thankfully, I do have a surplus of light. Thankfully, hell, I even have some um, porch lights. Funnily enough, that I used to use to give that RGB background, which actually made it look a lot nicer and didn't have to worry about like the white noise. Like it's how do I say? You know the difference between a clear picture. Imagine if you were watching a movie and there was like a bunch of like instead of a smooth image, you'd get like just a bunch of like noise, like a bunch of not static, but it wasn't like it was the picture was having there was so much happening. The picture was having trouble not focus. It's not focused because that would just be blurry. It's hard to say. But the only thing I'd say is like noise. Just a lot of noise, image noise. I don't even know what train of thought I was on for that one, but yeah, it's something I yeah oh yeah the RGB and stuff like mitigated like the image noise or whatever if that makes sense. And yeah, that's how I used to do it. And if you guys, I think I do have a lot of my older stuff is on YouTube. I'm not entirely sure. I know a lot of my clips are. You might notice that a lot of my face cam or my face cam streams or clips that I have, a lot of the lighting is very dark, but a lot of RGB. Reason being, it was a lot easier to hide the noise and my lack of experience with how cameras work in a darker setting, but also it was light. It was dark enough to where didn't have to worry about like noise or video noise and or sorry, image noise. Excuse me. And yeah, it hit it well, honestly. But yeah, so we shouldn't really have too much to worry about. I do need to just relearn how to camera essentially. I got to relearn how to do it. It'll be a lot easier. I will definitely say that because I don't have to worry about green screen. If you guys remember that, that was a pain in the ass. It's actually something I'm glad we don't have to use anymore, honestly. Um, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed having like just me and a cartoon background and all that. I loved the concept of live action cartoons together. Like one of my favorite movies as a kid was like well Space Jam and then Who Framed Roger Rabbit and a bunch of like older ones. Like I think there was this one with this guy who was turned into a fish. It was like live action, but the fish were cartoons. Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Well, it was not Bedknobs and Broomsticks, but that's another example. Oh yeah, Mary Poppins is another one. They don't do it a lot. I think the most recent one was Space Jam. Oh no, there was also that See and Real cartoon show, which was actually the most decent thing that Cartoon Network did for live action. Was this that one show where it was like a parody of Disney, but he could see all the like animated creations came to life, but only he could see it. It was an interesting concept. It's like one of the best things that came out of seeing real. Uh, let's see. Yeah, I did. I was when I back to like the lighting stuff and the green screen days. I was on the fence about becoming a VTuber just because I did enjoy that unique setup of just having, you know, an IRL, live action, or myself, my IRL self, and just having a cartoon background in office space. Because I didn't really see too many. Well, I have to preface this: I didn't see too many people do it on Twitch or anywhere else. Not that it didn't happen, I just couldn't find anybody else who did it. If that makes sense. Like I didn't see too many people doing like green screens and having like an animated like VTuber, PNG tuber background stuff, but with your like IRL self like in front of the camera. Didn't see too many of that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just never saw anybody do it. I feel like that sentence was weird grammar wise. Sorry, overthinking things. Um, but yeah, a bonus though, one of the things I was like a pro was I don't have to worry about lighting. Well, now I do because I'm doing build streams, but I don't have to worry about lighting as much anymore. And I have to buy myself once in a while instead of every single stream. So it was very nice not having to have to use the lights, because you need, compared to normal streams for lighting, having to light a green screen is so much more pain in the ass. I don't like it took a bit to get it to work, not to mention the freaking green screen setup, the apparatus I had, which is a little bent now. It took up a lot of space, although it was very nice to have, and it took a lot of chroma keying to get that to work well. And my God, granted, it worked pretty damn well with my Logitech camera, but the moment I upgraded to the face cam, I was like, oh, this thing's gonna give me a little trouble, isn't it? Because it was a much better camera, so it was harder to trick. Well, it had a lot more features back then, so it was a lot harder to trick than the Logitech one, because it had its own camera features and stuff, or a camera app and stuff. And so yeah, green screening was a pain in the ass. It was such a pain in the ass. It was worth it, but it was a pain. Because I also had to switch to an actual green screen, because before I was using like a lime green sheet, which worked really well. And then when I switched to an actual green screen, that was a lot more of a traditional green versus lime green. It was a little harder to get that to work, but I got it to work, surprisingly. Thankfully, the Elgato like face cam corrected a lot of the issues just automatically. So that was a bonus. It was still a pain in the butt though. I had to brighten the lights up a lot. But it worked. It was a very, very fun um thing to work with, honestly. Once I upload like the what was it? Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which was all just face cam, just my IRL self. That will give an example for those who have not seen my IRL self with the green screen and stuff, which honestly with clips, some people may have. Because I don't mind showing my face on camera. Like again, I'm not camera shy. I used to be camera shy, but I'm not really camera shy. Hell, to the point where I literally just incorporated myself into my own VTuber lore, essentially, with how it worked. But yeah. Because I did not want to have to take down all of my IRL stuff. So it's like, oh, I'm incorporating myself into this. Fortunately, it kind of worked out seamlessly. Just it kind of wrote itself, honestly. Because Derp, whose body you are seeing right now as the PNG tuber, was always the channel mascot, or had become the channel mascot for years, replacing the old mascot. And so I already had that concept of like he was creating like a dream-like space whenever I was in like a cartoony, like when I was IRL. had like a cartoony background in Office. It was him doing like a dreamscape kind of deal thing. So it was like his dreams come to life kind of deal, because I always liked that concept and like D&D with like the dream spell and how broken it can get if you get really good at it. And I just had like the character just do it naturally. But then essentially, as the way I had it in my head is that he wanted to be on camera because he had to be asleep essentially for the it to work. Now he could be there, but he had to be there like in the dream itself. He couldn't dream himself into the dream. It was weird because he could do it innately, but he was not good at controlling it, if that makes sense. It's like being given an ability without knowing how it works. You're just doing it by instinct. At least that's my vibe of it. And he wanted to be, oh, he wanted to be on camera and stuff. So he built a dream apparatus and it went haywire. And then there was like a firestorm situation, like with that. If you guys know the character Firestorm from DC or from DC Comics, essentially they fused together, become one person, essentially. So yeah, he got his wish. Except I'm in the what is it, the driver's seat, if you will. Still working out the kinks on that one. But yeah. Mhm. But yeah, like I said, it kind of wrote itself because it kind of lined itself up, honestly. Didn't really have to go that far to keep my. I could have just kept the clips. I mean, like, had no reason to do so with just me with my. I'm having a hard time talking here. I didn't really need to make an excuse to keep my IRL clips. If that, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Once I became like a PNG tuber slash VTuber, but I was like, you know what? It'd be fun to actually have an actual reason why it's there. Oh yeah, and after stream ends, like the once the dreamscape like dissipates and stream's over, we essentially separate. So it's like a cool little thing. It's like, oh yeah, so if I'm IRL, so yeah, I didn't need to do that, but it was fun, honestly. It was fun to come up with. So I was like, you know what? Why not? But yeah. Uh but yeah, let's see. So yeah, we're probably gonna wrap this up here because I am getting tired. Yeah, but thanks for sticking around, guys, and listening to me ramble. I know we've only been on for like 40-ish minutes. I was getting cold now, starting to shiver. Jesus. But yeah, so yeah, learned a lot. So TLDR, learned a lot today. Uh, the setup is viable, if not a little scuffed, because of how I have to have my monitors. I have to clean up a lot of stuff and make it look a little nicer. But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, we learned that we need a smaller table, one that's preferably length and width wise smaller, but big enough to accommodate um, a build setup, and is foldable. And actually, there are some I found that are like 50, $60. So it's not like bank breaking. So that's fine. Especially now that since I don't have to get a new desk mount for the camera holder, or camera mount, I should say, because of that, oh, what's the word? That out of nowhere freaking piece falling out of it, making the hole bigger, and then it fit. So don't have to spend $30 to get a new desk mount, thankfully. Because I had to get the same like app mount and then with it because I had no idea what the size was, and it's a whole thing. But no, I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, so we will now have a camera setup for next time, and there will be a next time. I would say Sunday, but I think my Sunday eve. We'll see what happens Sunday evening. I'm not going to commit to it, but if I have nothing going on and I am absolutely free, I will probably do a short build stream and just like show off what I have for build streams for the future stuff. So it'd be just like a taste of what's to come. Hopefully I'll have the desk here by then if I can find one for a good price. So yeah. So Sunday maybe. Not gonna do it Saturday because I'm not gonna skip out on dot hack because I feel like once I start doing that, once if I need to get into a rhythm with dot hack so that way I don't accidentally keep skipping it like I did with dot hack 1 or the first one, because this things kept on coming up and I had to keep on changing things around. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep a more consistently with dot hack. I am in the process of grinding. We did get a little stronger, but we do need some more gear. We are actually getting some gear drops, which is very nice. We are reaching the point in the place I found a grind to where it is not really worth getting XP because you're getting so little of it, but it is worth it to get the higher level gear because we were finding some good stuff in there. So yeah, Thursday is most likely going to be a grind stream in dot hack. I will honestly say it will most likely be a grind stream. I will try to go get up as early as possible for that to be viable. And then Saturday we're going to take on the big bad boss and hopefully be able to handle it better. But yeah, um, yeah, Thursday's gonna be a grind stream essentially. Saturday is gonna be we're taking on the boss and hopefully get past it, and hopefully it doesn't take an entire stream to do. And then yeah, and then Sunday most likely will be if there's nothing else going on. Like I'm not gonna commit to it. If there's nothing else going on Sunday night and everybody's busy, or everybody I know is busy with other stuff that I usually play games with, then I will try to do a build stream or I'll do a test one. Probably about this length, most likely. It won't be long. We probably won't even build anything. It'll just be to show off what we're going to be building potentially in the future. Um, Man, thanks to a lot, yeah, 40% off sale, I got a lot of build kits. Quite a few. Also some Legos. Not official Legos. I think they're Mega Block Legos. And it was like Pokemon themed. So I was like, ooh, yay. And some puzzles. And I think music box, which is the steampunk robot, which I got years ago for a birthday. Haven't opened it yet. I've always wanted to. Just haven't been motivated to. There's that static pop again. What the heck? I just hope you guys can hear that static pop and it's just in my headset. I possibly something got damaged on the mic. I don't know what it is. But it's every so often. It's not frequent. It's like infrequent, but it's enough to be like ugh. But yeah, let's see who's on that we can raid. Actually, you know what? Let's see. We may not even raid, honestly. Because this is just a what's the word? Essentially I went live knowing that because it's so late that nobody I knew or really anybody would pop in. Not saying that they don't have no one is obligated to come to the stream, but I'm like I knew going into I literally made this VOD just so people can be like see it later and be like, oh, so okay, so that's what happened, kind of thing, honestly. So yeah, we're probably not gonna raid, honestly. So yeah, I probably should get out of here before if because I know a couple of people who are on that also know me that I'm friends with that pretend that there's a chance I might get raided if I don't get out of here soon. Because if I do get raided, I have nothing else to say and I'm tired. Or nothing else to really go into. Because I am very tired. I was thinking of maybe playing like a game on PlayStation. Because I wanted to check out Blueprints, but It's just too late to try that. Oh yeah, also there was the I downloaded the what was it? Monster Trade 2 demo. Monster Trade 2 demo. Excuse me. That was something I was considering, but I was like, you know what, we're just gonna do an update one. And considering I can ramble for a long time at the beginning of stream, to the point where it's like I blink and an hour's passed. I was like, that's probably what it's gonna end up being. And look at that, it's almost an hour. But yeah, guys. So yeah, Sunday. So I'll be back on Thursday, maybe late to stream, just because I'm taking care of something the night previous. Hopefully, I can fix that real fast. Hopefully, I can get my hands on the pre-order real fast. And but my fingers crossed. Not gonna get my hopes up because if I fail that night, then I'm gonna have to wait until 11 a.m. the next day, and then if that's the case, then stream's gonna be late because that's when a certain pre-order opens up at GameStop. But yeah, um, but yeah, I'll be back on Thursday. Some more dot hack, most likely a grind stream. Then Saturday, if we're all squared away, we are gonna go at the boss again and see how far we can get, and possibly have to grind again, which will be fine because yeah, that'll be totally fine. But yeah, guys. With that said, though, thank you for being patient with me. Thank you, everybody chatted, lurked, all that good stuff. I do apologize for the lateness of this VOD or this update. So, what was that? Oh, that scared me. I thought, oh God, the pop up scared me. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm just happy that I figured out what I was missing and what was lacking with the setup. But hey, now I know, and now I know what to do to set up for next time. So yeah, with that said, guys, without further ado, it's been fun. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, have a nice night. Stay safe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.